Network is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code GolfSGPN. You can listen to every podcast episode on this network for free by subscribing to the podcast network at the SGPN feed, wherever you get your podcasts. Circa. Think you know ball? Then head to Circa's football contest with $21 million in guaranteed prizes and no rake. So if the entries go above the guarantee, all the extra money will go to the prize pool. Pick 5 teams against the spread and sweat up to $100,000 in the Circa Survivor contest. You must register in person in Nevada. Great excuse for a Vegas trip. We also can get you a $50 discount on a proxy. Go to footballcontest.com and use code SGP. And finally, we're brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet every single sport, including the MLB, WNBA, NFL futures, and more. They accept customers from all over. Easy deposit, lightning fast payout using crypto. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code GolfSGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Mybookie.ag, promo code GolfSGPN. We're live. Dom is in Maine. Dom is on a couch, and we are ready to talk some golf. So, Dom, thank you for joining me on your little vacation. Hope we can hear you okay.
Yeah.
And let's dial it up. Ready for the Scottish Open. Ready for some links.
Yeah, I know. One of my favorite fields. I tweeted it right when they released the field. I mean, if a lot more of the PGA guys would come here, I mean, it's one of the stronger fields top to bottom because we're implementing a lot of the DP World Tour guys who you don't normally see, and the rest of the PGA Tour guys who are kind of bottom barrel are in the ISCO. So it's a good field.
Yeah, and we get Rory, we get Scotty in like a non-major, which is nice. And it should be a fun week. There's always a fun tournament. There's nothing like waking up at like 4 a.m. and sweating some golf,
Yeah.
especially with PGA Tour names. It's always a really fun week. Before we get into the course really quickly, did you watch any of the JDC? We both had Grillo. We both gave out Grillo on the pod. You got me on the Grillo. You got me like hyped for Grillo. I didn't end up pulling the trigger on him, but talk about the sweat. Talk about the JDC. I know we're both tuned in a little bit.
Yeah, I did watch. Second time that Brian Campbell's done it to me because he got Aldrich a few months back at what was that?
Tough scene.
Yeah, but
Mexico.
Either way, 2 playoffs, the guy just wins. And right after the win, I pulled up his official world golf rank profile, and I mean, I understand that he's bad, but I didn't realize how bad he actually was. Like T32 is his best finish outside of his 2 wins. That doesn't happen.
His dog to talent ratio is at another level because his talent is like he drives the ball like you or I, truthfully, but he hits his ability to win in high pressure situations is something that Tommy Fleetwood, something that Colin Morikawa, Patrick Cantlay hasn't done in years. That they get there, but actually pull it out to have the dog is just awesome. So shout out Brian Campbell. I mean, losing to a 401 golfer is like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
It's Brian Campbell. Like he deserved it. He played well. They both played well, and Brian Campbell got the job done. Fun week at the JDC.
Yeah, so, we had a sweat. We had Grillo into the playoff. I did after the show. I know we had a brief conversation, and you kind of talked me into Max. I did bet Max at 100 to 1 each way, so I at least cashed that. Nice to see a little Max resurgence. I think the crowd was pulling for him. He just looked like he was having a lot more fun. I love seeing that. And sometimes, like we said, you got to look at some of the names in some of these weak fields, and then if you see Max Homa at 100 to 1 and he's shown anything, sometimes you just got to roll it. So
that was a fun week. I now see what you're talking about in the Golf Gambling Podcast, American Century Championship, which is something that is on TV every single year. I didn't realize that Sean gave us this little shout. So, Sean, I'm going to handicap this live as we go. So we have a prop here, T65 finish for Charles Barkley. No is minus 175. Yes is plus 140. I'm going to go with the yes because the man has became a better golfer over the last 5 years. He used to be a clown. He used to have other things to do. Now he's just calling games and golfing. Like, he is dialed in for this event, and I think he can finish in the top 65. I'm definitely there for that.
I don't know. He has the worst odds of this entire field.
But there's a lot of, like, this entire Yeah, that is actually. He has the worst odds. He's
So I
definitely out there.
think if I had to blindly throw a long shot, I'd have to do Sam Darnold at 125 to 1.
I have a few long shots too. I mean, wait, Anika's 6.5 to 1.
Who?
Annika
Oh,
Sorenstam, generational flusher, is 6.5 to 1. But I think it's gonna be either Marty Fish or Annika Sorenstam. A long shot though, Derek Carr, 85 to 1.
really?
Derek Derek Carr can play. Derek Carr, at least in my belief, is retired from the NFL. Correct? He's retired.
Correct.
He's playing golf.
That's a
Derek
huge
Carr is
bump.
playing. Yes, massive bump. 85 to 1. Derek Carr is surely the long shot. But if my money's going on a favorite, it's Marty Fish or Annika Sorenstam, American Century Championship.
Actually, you know who's nice, and I've heard from a lot of people, is Adam Thielen.
I was
I
gonna
didn't
say. I
realize he
knew
was
you were
in
gonna
there
say
at
Thielen.
22 to 1.
Yes,
I've heard
Thielen.
he can hit a golf ball a very long way, and he's playing a lot, but to your point with Derek Carr, guy's
Yeah,
retired. He's probably the same age as Thielen, except Thielen's been doing training camp and
right.
lifting programs and whatever else he's got. Derek Carr is just on the course.
Yeah, Derek Carr is flushing it. So I'm in with Derek Carr. He's talked about how much he plays golf, how much he cares about this sport. So hope you
Team
guys.
ride.
Yeah, team ride. Derek Carr 85 to 1. So hope you guys dealt with that conversation for the American Century Championship. It's time to get to the real event, the Scottish Open. Talk to me a little bit about the course, what you're looking for at the Renaissance Club course we've seen for a few years now.
Yeah, so like I said, it's cool. I think is it 2 or 3 years? I think it's 3 years now that they've had the DP World Tour
That
guys
it's been
in.
co-station, yeah.
This will be the fourth. But a link style course, par 70, just under seven or around 7,300 yards. It's kind of unique that a par 70 has five par threes.
Yeah,
So
that's DPAF.
I'm actually weighing in par three scoring and par three birdie or better, just because if five of your 18 holes are par threes, I mean, you can look at the approach distances and kind
Yeah,
of find a middle ground there, but just guys who score on par threes, like it goes a long way. We're already in July, so we have enough stats on it. So if you want to go back however many rounds you want, I think guys who can score on par threes are live. And then just your normal approach proximity. It looks like it's going to be pretty easy this week. So a lot of guys are going to
like
be hitting greens in
weather-wise, you're saying?
regulation. What's that?
Are you saying weather-wise or just like
Yeah,
the weather? Yeah, the weather looks pretty clean. So
looks looks good. They'll be able to score.
yeah,
So looking at proximity more so, like I don't care if guys are hitting greens in regulation. I want guys throwing it close and then putting again. If it's going to get
yeah,
to 18 under like Bob Mack won last year, and it could go lower than that. So you're going to
yeah.
want a guy who can putt.
Yeah, we've seen various alterations. I mean, anytime you're playing in this area of the world, the weather is basically everything. And
Yeah.
it's looking like we're gonna have beautiful weather. Great for me because I'm flying to Ireland on Friday and the weather looks
Yes.
amazing. It looked horrible last week. Now it looks amazing. So you never can really know, but right now I guess the vibes are high. That weather over there is
Good.
looking good. So let's get into the odds board. We talked about Rory. We talked about Scotty before we got on. They're playing together. Do we think this is a week where one of them wins? The odds say so. The models seem to say so. What's the deal? What are we doing with these boys?
I think I'm just gonna fade him and take him on, just
It's,
because of how deep the field is.
and we got good numbers too.
Yeah, there there's pretty good numbers, and like I said, there's so many long shots that I like to throw some placements on. So I think I'm gonna take these two guys on. We got a major a week ahead, so it might be a look ahead. They might be wanting to tweak a couple things or try a couple different things out on a link style course before they go to the Open. But yeah, I'd rather just take them on.
Yeah, no, I think I'm probably with you. I will say Scotty and Rory are both drifting since they've opened. If we get a 5 somewhere on Scotty,
Yeah,
maybe I might be there because this is a golf course he's played well on before. He's putt like shit before, but he has been a better putter this year across all surfaces, Bermuda, bent, all surfaces. So I can potentially get there, single bullet Scotty, but I have enough room for it with my season long way I've been constructing the cards. So I don't know. If I have to pick one of the two, it's gonna be Scotty. I think Rory
Yep.
is all the way dialed in for next week. Like he talked about, if I can't get up for the Open at Portrush, what am I doing? So I think the massive litmus test for Rory, if he's not uh geared up for next week, and we know when Rory is like dialed, when he cares. If we could tell that he doesn't care, his career is over.
Yeah.
Career is completely over next week. So now we get into some names: Xander, Tommy, Colin, Bob, Mack, Ludwig, just JT. That's 20 to 35. So this is a beautiful odds board in terms of
It is.
numbers. So anyone from this is on DraftKings, 20 to 35 that you like. That's Justin Thomas, Ludwig, Bob, Mack, Colin, Tommy, Xander.
I think I mentioned par threes, and I'm gonna go to with the par three wizard himself, Colin Morikawa. Third on tour and
Sell
par
me,
three
dude.
birdie or better.
Is that a fact?
It
Wow.
is
Wow.
third overall in par three birdie or better this season. Um, we saw some life at the Rocket that also is playing into it. Top five in both ball striking and approach. Didn't really make a push, but he was there enough. I don't know. I felt like for a couple weeks there, I was saying that I needed to see some from Colin, and I think that was enough to see it. So 25 to 1. Would I like a better number? Sure, but it's a better number than we've seen over the past couple weeks.
No, I agree with you. And he made a great move this week. Billy Foster on the bag, old caddy for Matt Fitz, links specialist. Obviously won with Matt Fitz this event a few years back when it was a DP World Tour event, and he beat both Minwoo Lee and Thomas Dietrich in a playoff.
Yep.
Um, worst beat of my life, by the way. I had Thomas Dietrich at like 40 to 1, and there was a weather horn going, a weather delay, and Thomas Dietrich missed a 2 foot putt when the weather horn was blown.
I
I
remember
was like,
that.
whatever. But I still have nightmares about it. But Colin, like, he finished T4 here last year. He also complained that he didn't like the way his clubs were interacting with the ground in 2022. But it's a golf course that I prefer bombers, but you could definitely do it if you're striping up irons and like you mentioned the
Yeah.
par three thing. So I think there's worse fits for Colin Morikawa, and with the weather being dry, he's gonna get some carry in the fairways. I don't think it's a bad way to start. I don't know if I love anyone down here. I think if I have to pick one of these guys, it's Ludwig, just because if you're betting Ludwig in perpetuity at 30 to 1, it's gonna work
Yeah.
out for you. So I think it's just gonna be Ludwig. He's having really, really good iron results his last 4 starts, which is the best of his 2025. So I think the game's trending in the right direction. He should have won last year, but he had a horrible round 4. And yeah, I think I like Ludwig here.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't mean to jump ahead, but this whole next range is pretty
Yeah,
gross. Like
yeah,
like once you get past, I mean, you can even go as low as Vic, but once you
yeah.
get past like Vic, Burns, I guess Sep's down there, but it gets pretty bad unless you want to start taking some long shots, and that's kind of the way that I'm going to build. I might have one or two in that 25 to 35 range and then just sprinkle a couple bombs because like I'm not betting a 60 to 1 Ryan Fox.
Or Harry Hall. I liked Harry Hall. Then I saw his odds.
Yeah, I
Like when I
can't
was
believe that
researching,
number.
right? Like, is it sharp? I don't understand. If I had to pick one guy over here, I mean, we'll touch on everyone. We'll touch on a few names, but Victor Hovland 40 to 1. I think is a great number, but
Yeah.
he withdrew from a neck injury. He was coming off the best approach week of his season, and then he has a neck injury. I just feel like, how am I supposed to trust that? Like
Yeah.
the stats look good, but I don't know if I could trust it. The number is like it's a bait number. I don't think 40 to 1
It
is,
is.
it's like it's baiting us to bet it. Also in this range, Sam Burns, like playing great golf, finally hitting his irons well. I think it's a fair number. And then you get down to this weird range. If I had to pick one guy, it's probably Aaron Rye around 60 to 1. And like
I looked at him.
he won here. He's won on this golf course before. He beat Tommy in a playoff. That tells you anything about Tommy Fleetwood. Um, but that was when it was a DP World Tour event. He also, I think, finished T5 here or something like that last year. So, do you like Rye at all?
I do. It's just the number for me is hard to get to. I'd probably be more on the placement side.
I think I'm with
But
you.
if I had to throw an outright, that's 50 plus, like anywhere from 50 to 100. It'd probably be Rye. I could probably be talked into Adam Scott. He had a pretty good run here last year, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it just seems like an inflated number.
I totally agree. It's inflated off of that US Open. I think I'm out on Scott personally. And then another guy who I'm always really high on in this event is Wyndham Clark. He's got decent course history. I think it's just a great golf course for his game. He could drive it almost anywhere and then hopefully get hot with the putter. The irons are hit or miss, but he showed a pop iron week a few starts ago. I think Wyndham Clark's game is in an okay place opposed to where we've seen it the last year and a half. And it's a number that I think is fair. I think he's a guy who's proven he could win. His career might be over though. He might have no more wins ever, but I think it's a
Yeah,
decent number on Wyndham. Anyone else you
yeah.
like before we get to triple digits?
I got a couple 90s if we
All
want
right.
to do that before the triple.
Let's 90 it up, and then we'll do triple digits and like random European guys, and then wrap it back around.
So I'm a European guy, but I think I'm in on Rasmus.
Rasmus Neers.
Future future PG. Remember, he's more times before that. Teach what the and
Well, I
then
believe
we
Dom
saw the
is cutting
solo
out.
second at live.
You might have cut out, but you're back now. Talk. You hear me, Dom?
Yes, I'm back. You got me?
Yeah, I got you. So I heard you talking about Rasmus Niergaard Peterson, how he was going to get his he's going to get his PGA Tour card, and he
Yes.
played well at Oakmont. Okay, Rasmus Neers. I got some of that.
Yes, Oakmont, and then the T14 at BMW last week was live at Puerto Rico, and then had a second at the Qatar Masters the week prior to that. So I think he's put together a pretty good um, season. A guy who plays link style courses, I mean,
Yep.
pretty much his entire career until next year if he does take full time membership. But Neargard Peterson at 90, and then Daniel Berger at 90. Made
I like
12
Burger on the
of his
links.
last
I like that.
14. I think it's a really good number.
Yeah,
Like, how is Berger 90? And like, we were talking about like Harry Hall, Harris English, all those guys are up in the 60s, 70s. Berger's putter has been horrible. Gained 2+ strokes at the U.S. Open and the Players, so two better fields. Not that that means anything, but
he's
since I
striking the
guess this
ball
is the
though.
sixth major, maybe he's going to show up at the flat stick.
Yeah, I mean, change in surface. I'm with you on Burger. I like Burger across the pond. I've always liked him on links courses, so
Yes,
I think I'm with you there. I do honestly think I'm with you there. All right, let's do the triple digits slash random DP World Tour guys that we have to give out. I'll start off triple digit guy. No, I'm not going to say Keith Mitchell. I promise you, I will
me
not say
either.
Keith Mitchell, but I will say Marco Penge. Marco Penge, he is a DP World Tour absolute bomber, and he's a winner this year. Played really well last week as well. I just think this is a golf course where he can let that driver loose. He played really well at Quail Hollow, actually. He played nice at Quail Hollow, if that's good for anything. So I'm down for Penge at 120, but probably more in the positional markets.
I'm going to go just past that 120 and go to Hao Tong Lee at 150 to 1.
What a year he's having.
So, Matt, before we knew each other, I was a huge Hao Tong Lee guy. He won Dubai in 2018 and jumped into the top 50 in the world and was playing, I think he played like 10 or 12 PGA events just because of his world ranking. I've been obsessed ever since. He's kind of like a Højgaard where he could miss the
Yep.
cut by 10 strokes or he could be first round leader and be live. I think there was a major a few years ago where he was first
Harding
round
Park,
leader.
36 hole leader at Harding Park, or 54 hole
Yes.
leader, one of the two. Yeah.
So, number one
And he
on
was
DP World
practicing
Tour
till like
approach.
10 p.m.
Huh?
He was practicing like that day after he was 36 hole leader till like 10 p.m. I remember the coverage showing it. Like super.
Grinder.
Yeah.
Hasn't missed a cut in 14 DP World Tour events this season. One at the Qatar Masters, and then he has 3 additional top fives and one more top 10. So
He's
5
gonna
of
be on the tour
his.
next year.
Yeah, I hope he is. I love
Yeah.
I love Hao Tong Lee. So 150 to 1. I probably will sprinkle an outright, but I'm gonna hammer him in the positional markets.
Yeah, I mean, Hao Tong is you talk about an electric golfer, you'll get some all over the course shots, like amazing
Fun
ones,
to
horrible
watch.
ones. That is surely Haotong. And I got one more. I have 150 to 1 as well. Eugenio Lopez Cachara. What a
Yes.
story we have here. Live golfer, left live because he got bullied off of the fireballs. Won on the DP World Tour at DLF, which is a
Yep.
very, very difficult golf course, and is making his PGA Tour debut on a golf course that should suit his game. He's very long off the tee and can get scorching hot with long irons. Love the kid's game, and he should be. I mean, went to Oklahoma State as well as Rasmus Niergaard Peterson, so they know how to
Yep.
play in the wind. I like Eugenio to get into the mix and post a really, really low round. So 150 to 1 and potentially a long shot. I mean,
I'm
sorry,
hoping
Bishop.
he finds his way onto the tour in the next year or so. He should be pretty close. I haven't looked at the DP World Tour standings, but hopefully he's pretty close.
Yeah.
My last bomb is Francesco Laporta. 3 straight
Report.
top 10 finishes, 270 to 1. Same thing. I'm going to sprinkle an outright, not going to go crazy, and then I'm going to hammer the positionals. So, I mean, 15th in approach on the DP World Tour, and like I said, when you're as hot as he is, it's hard to not throw 270.
Yeah, no, I do not mind that at all. So those are some good calls, but now we'll get into the official plays. We'll start back with outrights. Let's do 3 outrights, 2 positionals, and a matchup. I guess I'll start it off. I'll go with Ludwig, 30 to 1. I think Ludwig, like I said, if you're betting Ludwig at 30 to 1 every single week, it's going to be up all time. I can promise you that. And I think, I mean, it's a golf course that he's played well on here before. He could do it in multiple ways with the driver, with the irons, and I think Ludwig 30 is a good call.
I'm going to start with Colin Morikawa. Hope he takes
Okay.
advantage of the par threes and carries over what we saw at the Rocket.
Okay. I'll go all the way down to 100. Nikolai Horgard, 100 to 1. A golf course where driver putter is certainly in play. Think Matt Fitzpatrick, Rory McIlroy, Minwoo Lee, Thomas Dietrich, golfers that are pure driver putters. Nikolai's driving it long, and he can get hot with the flat stick. He can also stripe the irons. I worry about the around the green play, but I'm down for Nikolai to get hot in that market, 100 to 1 outright.
My last 2, I'm going to take my 2 guys at 90. I'm going to go Rasmus Niergaard Peterson at 90, riding a great season so far, and then Daniel Berger at 90 to 1, just based off of the value, and rates out very well for me. So Niergaard Peterson and Berger both at 90 to 1.
All right, and I will go 250 to 1. The young stud, the young Frenchman, one of the drippiest guys in the world, Martin Couvra. And his last 6 starts, he's finished inside the top 8 with a win. He is a future stud. He will be on the PGA Tour next year. He looks like one of those just like up and coming. He wears TaylorMade. They got him dripped out in the fresh garb. Just looks the part of a professional. He's young. He's hip. Just remember the name Martin Couvra. Flushes the ball. 250 to 1, and I think he is insane enough to play well in this event.
Love it. My first positional, I'm going to go Haotong Lee. His top 40 is plus 140. Like I said, already a winner this year. Couple additional top 5 finishes. I'm going to ride Haotong Lee at plus 140 for a top 40 finish.
All right, I will go top 20 market. Chris Gotterup plus 260. Gotterup is having some of the best overall consistent form of his career. He's driving it well. He's approaching it well. He's around the greening it well, and he's putting it well. Just a complete golfer. Good number. He could bomb it here, which suits his game. And I'm down for some Gotterup at 2.5 to 1 top 20.
Speaking of Gotterup, last year he was 4 off of the first round lead? And then shot a
I bet him.
77 on Friday.
I bet him last year outright. I bet him. I think I lost you for a second.
I think he's a winner.
What? Dom may or may not be dead. Bear with us for 1 second. Dom, you here? Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. It's okay. We don't got Dom.
I'm back.
You're back. You're back?
Yeah,
okay.
I was saying,
Chris Gotterup.
I think Gotterup's a more complete golfer than he was last year. So playing very, very well. Love that bet.
Yeah. You have your matchup? You have a matchup?
I
or
just
another
have my
positional?
last positional. I'm just going to take
Okay.
Francesco Laporta at plus 180 for a top 40. So the two bombs, I am going to sprinkle their outrights, but I'm also going to hit both their top 40s at plus 140, plus 180. A couple DP
All right,
guys.
I'll go with another DP guy, top 20, Sam Bairstow, a guy who launches it off the tee and is one of the best putters in the world. 7-1, top 20, Sam Bairstow. I don't think we have matchups up yet, so I'll do one more positional for you guys, and it's actually another European bomber, Ugo Coussard, 9-1, a guy who does two things well: sends it 10 trillion yards off the tee and can get hot with the putter. That's the only things he's doing well right now, and he finished T19, I believe, last week at the BMW International, which is not an easy golf course. So Ugo, Sam Bairstow, and Chris Scott are up top 20. You have any more positionals, or that wraps up for you?
That's all I got.
That's all we got. Dom, thank you for joining me early Monday during the week, but we got a busy week ahead of us. We're leaving fucking trips. You're in Maine. And yeah, let's cash some bets. We had a nice week last week. Let's do it again.